was at Houston. They beat the Astros yesterday. The other game in action right now. Mike Trout has hit another home run. He's just sizzling right now. He's got 8 home runs. Angels, though, are trailing early against the Oakland A's. Olsen and Grossman with home runs. Matt Olson, he hits bombs. He hit a 450-foot home run at Angel Stadium in Anaheim. 3-1 Oakland leads. That game is in the bottom of the second inning. Tampa Bay's at Boston, where they have won 10 of their last 11 meetings with the Red Sox. Seattle and Texas is a 9 o'clock start.
In half a mile, turn left onto Southfield Freeway frontage road.
Had a 3-5-3 lead with a 4-run bottom of the 4th inning from Griner and Castro. And they took a 5-3 lead, but they couldn't hold it. White Sox going to a 7-5 win over the Tigers. Tigers now get ready to face the Cleveland Indians, a team that they could simply not solve last year with just 1 win the entire season series. We'll have a preview of the weekend after this on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network.
And it's a beautiful day to escape the heat. And know you'll also be cozy and comfy 6 months from now. Today is the best time to call CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, because this one's a steal. We're talking high-efficiency systems starting at only $79 a month. That deal is going the distance, just like CNC Heating and Air. With 72 years in business, family-owned and operated for 3 generations, it's a winning play. CNC is an essential service, whether hot or cold, with increased safety procedures and CDC protocol in place. Act now before you have a problem, or call us for emergency service. And take advantage of high-efficiency systems starting at $79 a month. Over 2,000 Google reviews with a 4.9 rating. You can count on the pros and our 365-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So call the red, white, and blue truck at 1-800-MY-FURNACE and online at cncheat.com.
You're at bat for ordering the beers. Sure, you can get the usual stuff. That's a swing and a miss. Or you can order the taste of Ellison Brewery at 97.1 The Ticket. It's a home run, baby. You'll never miss with 97.1 The Ticket Double Dry Hop Hazy Pale Ale or 97.1 The Ticket American Lager. 2 totally different tastes for 1 great season. 16-ounce 4-packs now available at select Kroger locations, or ask for it wherever your crew enjoys brew. Must be 21. Enjoy responsibly. And that's the game. We're putting in work, making the moves, ready to play. It's a whole new ballgame at your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers with the Chevy Traverse. Traverse fits your life and everything that comes with it. With room for up to 8 passengers and best-in-class cargo space, you can bring along everything your family needs. And with available 4G LTE Wi-Fi, Chevy Traverse is like a home away from home. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
At the light, turn left onto Southfield Freeway frontage road. Then keep left.
Our next game preview is brought to you by Varsity Lincoln. B number 1 lets us make
Use the left lane to keep left to merge onto M39 North.
And the Cleveland Indians are fascinating team right now. They have barely 2 runs a game. They've been incredibly consistent. They gave up more than 4 runs for the first time all season yesterday. So they bring in
In 3.7 miles, take exit 16 on the left to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
They can't score runs. They're barely averaging 3 runs a game.
person, business, community, every the financial strength to make us all a stronger we. Member FDIC.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
Oh man, what a beautiful afternoon. The Lenny Show is ready to roll alongside my big, beautiful black coffee. Oh man, we are ready to. Oh, Rico's here too. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. They're entertaining to watch, the Tigers. Just
Yeah,
take a look.
I love that we could have got a mint for Boyd, but Al tried to play tough guy and we got nothing for him, and now he stinks. Oh, I don't want to start negative. I don't. I was so pissed watching that. Damn it, you could have had prospects galore for this guy. And by the way, we still don't have Mize up here. Boy, I got to tell you something, Rico, and maybe it's a weakness of mine. You ever say something and you feel good about it, but then someone you respect and who you think is really smart later on says the same thing, and you're like, damn, all right, I feel a little bit better even about what I said. Or is that just me being a weakling?
No, it's always good to have something that you say validated, that you're not on an island. That, you know what?
Right,
Smarter
okay.
people think the same thing.
Okay, I happen to think that about friend of the show, Dan Wetzel. Now, I like Dan personally. There's full transparency, but Dan is really smart when it comes to college sports. He's written entire books about it. He's made a career about it. Although now he's doing something but children's books, but that's we'll talk about that later. The point is, Dan Wetzel encapsulated a lot of what we talked about in his piece, and it made me feel better, but it has me coming back to a question I wanted to ask our listeners. And it is, who's telling the truth here? Let me read to you a short excerpt, and then I want you to tee this up, all right? I'm going to give you a 2-0 fastball, and you're sitting on it. I'm telling you I'm throwing it, so here we go. He says, college football is the most uniquely American sport because it's as divided as the country itself. These are intelligent, well-meaning people on both sides, talented medical boards, conscious decision makers everywhere. Yet there's no central authority. The NCAA and its well-paid figurehead president Mark Emmert have no real power. The sport's divided into 10 conference fiefdoms and a few powerhouse independents. But this is where it gets good, Rico. They work together at times, but mostly compete against each other. No agreed upon medical experts, no shared timetable for decisions, no shared priority. One group might consider the wishes of the players most. Another might worry about adding to the possibility of spread to their student populace. Who's right, or even better, who's wrong? And I woke up today and I listened to a couple different interviews with Rico, and it really does leave you. Like yesterday, we were all in this stunned mode of, wow, we've arrived, that the Big Ten and Pac-12 is canceled, and it sucks. But we felt it was the right thing. But today, it's kind of like you move past the emotion, and you go, wait a second. How can they be looking at the same data? And I've got Bob Bowlesby, Big 12 commissioner. We have some audio. And David, I don't know if it's done. It doesn't matter if it is. I can read the quote. Copy, good buddy, 10-4.
It's not done yet, so we're still looking.
Okay. let me read through the quote. So Bowlesby basically, along with Wetzel, is kind of talking about things that it's exactly in my headspace, Rico. He says, I feel very good about where we are at the present time. He says, I have better information, and my presidents have better information than most of our friends in the fourth estate, the media. The Pac-12 and Big Ten are seeing the same information we're seeing, but our board believes in our scientists, and they have a conclusion that's different. We can look at the same data and come to different conclusions. That's what's happening. Whoa.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Well, this really contradicts what the Pac-12 commissioner said with Larry Scott. Said, look, if people saw what our medical people gave us, everybody was shut down. So that leads me to wonder, did they share this information or are people downplaying it? Mike, you see this all the time with doctors. I mean, people, I got to get a second opinion. I got to get a third opinion. You're just going to keep, until you find the one doctor that says, yeah, it's okay to drink bacon grease for breakfast and you'll be fine. Won't clog your arteries. That's the doctor you want to listen to.
I love bacon grease. Sorry. I tell you, there ain't nothing better in this world than frying an egg in the same pan you cook bacon. Sorry, carry on.
No worries. But it does go to, today you wonder, is the NCAA going to say anything? You're watching your league collapse. You're not doing a doggone thing. It's as if the NCAA is the fire department and they're letting everybody put the fire out in the neighborhood with their own water hoses. And they're just sitting at the station saying, you think we should go and help? No. Let them handle their own thing. You can't be a functioning organization and you let this thing crumble. It is falling apart. You have conferences now contradicting and damn near just fighting each other saying, well, I don't know what they're doing, but you know what? We're going to do it our way. Big Ten, Pac-12 says, hey, we're caring about the players. The other conference says, we care about our players too, but our players are tough and they want to play and we want to play and we don't see anything going on with this. Mike?
So let me ask this question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, but no, that's my bad.
No. I mean, I don't understand when people say, well, you canceled it too early. What is the difference between canceling it yesterday and canceling it 3 weeks from now? Do you really think we're going to come up with some magical cure in 21 days that people are up in arms? Well, you at least should have tried. You should have did this. If it's going to fail, if you're not going to do anything, I don't see the point. Pull the plug now if you know it's not going to work.
All right, David is yelling at me for a timeout, but I want to say this. Can I get 10 Detroiters on the phone line to answer a simple yet complex question that I have thought about since yesterday's show? Who's telling the truth? Who's right and who's wrong? How can doctors look at these things and come to completely opposite conclusions? I know it can happen in the medical world, but with a decision this big, it's not one person, it's an entire multi-billion-dollar industry. How can you have doctors looking at the same thing and see it so differently? Who's on the right side of it? Don't go all Alex Jones conspiracy theories on me now, but do you feel that politics has crept in? I kind of do. 248-539-9797. Phone lines are wide open. David's already yelling at me. This is going to be a good program today. 97.1.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Flame Heating and Cooling. The crash leaves only the right lane open, Southfield Freeway northbound before Warren Avenue with stop-and-go traffic after Michigan Avenue. Out in Genesee County, there's also a crash blocking the left lane of US 23 northbound after Torrey Road. Backups continue from Owen Road. I'm Michelle Penny.
If it sounds like there's 1,000 bees in your air conditioning building a nest, don't hesitate. Call the experts at Flame. That's Flame Heating and Cooling. Go online now to flamefurnace.com or call 888-234-2340. That's 888-234-2340.
Businesses are starting to bounce back. But what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt, deliver, and succeed in new ways with new customers? At Comcast Business, we're committed to helping you not just bounce back, but bounce forward. That's why we're offering powerful and reliable internet and voice. Now for only $35 each a month when you buy both and sign up for EcoBill and AutoPay with a 2-year agreement. It'll help you stay ahead with a network you can count on. Stay connected with 24/7 support and thrive with flexible solutions that work wherever you are. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to find out more. Comcast Business. Offer ends 8/21/2020. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits internet and one voice mobility line. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Equipment installation taxes and fees extra, subject to change.
When it's
3 p.m., Denise wants to treat herself, so she went to McDonald's because she knows only McDonald's has icy cool Minute Maid slushies. And the sweet chill of those slushies sure do hit the spot. So go ahead, Denise, and treat yourself to that Minute Maid slushie. It's not just a drink, it's a McDonald's drink.
Satisfy your craving for cool with a large Minute Maid slushie, including new pink lemonade or a large iced coffee. Just $2 each at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with combo meal.
Hey there, it's Natalie from Google. One of my challenges here is finding candidates for IT support jobs. It's why Google's IT training program is now available for everyone. It helps you get ready for a job in under 6 months, and your resume will be considered by Google and more than 50 other employers. You don't need tech experience or a college degree. Enroll today at grow.google/IT certificate. That's grow.google/IT certificate.
Looking to sell your house? Call Jeff Glover, the official realtor of the Detroit Tigers. Call 855-JEFF-SELLS or visit housesoldname.com.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
When big things happen in Detroit sports, you hear it first on Detroit's #1 sports station, 97.1 The Ticket. Breaking news powered by Radio.com Sports and brought to you by Pennzoil. Motor oils from natural gas. The proof is in the Pennzoil. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A Radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
We're brought to you by Mother Waddles. Tigers dropped 2 of 3 to the White Sox at Comerica Park this week, including today's 7-5 decision. Matthew Boyd struggled again. He lasts 4 2/3, allowing 7 runs, all earned. His ERA now at unsightly 10.24. Jonathan Scope and Willie Castro both went deep for the Tigers, who next up had the Indians at Comerica Park on Friday, right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Not good news on first baseman C.J. Cron's knee. Was said earlier today he will need surgery. He does not know when, and he's not ruling out a return this year, but said this is worse than his last knee injury, which did sideline him for 8 months. St. Louis Cardinals may resume their season on Friday if they can get through today without any more positive tests. They haven't played since June 29. With the Big Ten and Pac-12 both postponing their seasons yesterday, Ohio State head coach Ryan Day today suggested they play a modified schedule starting in January, which theoretically would allow the top players to still play and then get ready for the April NFL draft. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1 The Ticket or radio.com.
From the WW.
I heard a lot. I mean, I heard Roberto talking. I heard Michelle Pena get cut off. What is this?
It's the mix.
All right, 5 o'clock. Yeah, it's the David Ream. Somebody get this man an air horn. Look, I'm just asking the question. I think Dan Wetzel really encapsulated it nicely. A lot of it is what we talked about yesterday, but we were so in the moment. You know, we never got to just the question of like, who's right and who's wrong. We were in the holy hell, I can't believe it's happened, it's here.
Right.
But 2 sets of doctors, 3 sets of doctors, and they're seeing it totally differently. Bob Bowlesby literally got up on a microphone within the hour, Big 12 commissioner, and said, I feel very good about where we are. And you know what? The other conferences see the same stuff we do. They just have a different opinion. That strikes me as very strange. Not when it's one person and 2 doctors might disagree on a diagnosis. When it's an entire industry involving thousands of athletes, billions of dollars, I find it very hard to believe. If I get a group of doctors in a room, Rico, if I get the medical advisory boards, if these things even exist, of the Big 12, the Big 10, because we haven't heard from the Big 10 or Pac-12, if we get them all in a room, I wouldn't feel comfortable walking out of that room and playing football unless everybody was on board. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, Mike,
So
go ahead.
No, I'm sitting back a day later and I'm kind of like, who is right in this? Who's wrong? And sadly, I really feel like there is so much politics tied into this, and you can break down the conferences in general by political affiliation. You kind of I don't know, man. It's outer space.
Mike, to me, it's glass half empty, glass half full. When the doctors are looking at this information, it's what is it that they want to accomplish? Are they looking short term? Are you looking long term? If you're looking short term, you may be saying, we can do this. You know what? All we got to do is put some, more cleaning material, make sure everybody's masked up. We can get this going. If you're thinking long term, you're like, no way in hell should we be playing. We don't know the long-term effects. So it's the same information. It's just your perspective. What is the bottom line? What's your goal? Are you trying to play football, or are you trying to look out for the players? Are you trying to make sure people make money, or are you trying to make sure people don't die? And yes, you're probably going to have some that think, you know what, shut it down immediately, but they probably think football is barbaric anyway. And then you have other ones who are saying, well, this is a collision type sport. These guys get hurt all the time. What's one more risk? You're already risking brain damage. So, what's coronavirus on top of brain damage?
Here's one thing I will say. You cannot, if you're the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, talk about the best interest of the player, player safety, and player welfare, and in the same breath, sell me on your student athletes playing in upwards of 27 football games, 28 football games in a calendar year. Can't do it. So I don't want to hear any of that spring football nonsense if you're going to talk about player welfare. I have a big problem with that. That is a pizza topped with extra hypocrisy. That's ridiculous. All right, let's get some of the people in. David, get some ticket text. Let's see what everybody's got to say here. Bob's in Northville. He'll lead it off today. Bobby, what's good?
Doing.
Bob, I'm sorry. Bob, go ahead. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
what's up?
Here's the issue. It's not a question of what doctors right or wrong. It's the failure of a national leadership in this country to establish a framework by which we all have decided, and it's already been decided, that we are going to take the risk of continuing to live our lives, whether it's going to work, going out, going to school, or playing football. And we don't have any way of, let's say, relevantly measuring what risk we're willing to take. And the question should be asked, is one case too many? If you want to say, well, if football players are together to increase the risk, so do student classes, so does going out to any event where there's other people, so does going to work. So we're trying what this question highlights is the problem we have every day in Michigan and elsewhere. Every, I'll use the word outbreak, triggers a new evaluation about, is this right or wrong? And it's all done on a piecemeal basis. And therein lies the real challenge, that we can't have a contextual evaluation of the risks we've all agreed to take and do so in a reasonable fashion.
Bob, I think it's interesting, and I want your opinion on it. But when you look at this, we are sitting here this deep into this, and we can't get the country into a consensus of best practices. That is stunning to me. It's stunning. But then I read an article about the sheriff down in Ocala, Florida, banning face masks, not only for his officers to wear when they interact with the public, but banning anyone from visiting his office and wearing a mask. That's a real human being in law enforcement. Okay? Bob, what are we doing here?
I agree 100%. We keep asking questions on every incident that occurs or incident that might occur, and we don't have any other we're measuring specifics. I'm not saying a national policy is going to have it all right and wrong, but we don't have any guideposts by which we can all at least say,
but what you're saying is the truth. Bob Bowlesby comes out and talks about we feel really good about where we are, doesn't provide any numbers, and then no one, whether it's the Big Ten all the way to the SEC, no one has provided the framework of their plan for, well then, if you're comfortable playing, what is the policy when a player goes positive in the regular season? Or what happens when a coach goes positive? What is the framework? And as Rico said, this isn't months away. This is days and weeks away. And the problem I have, I don't know that they have a plan.
No,
because it's clear the NCAA didn't have one, And it's clear the Big Ten doesn't have one currently for this alleged spring fantasy. Rico, you gave me a quote from Gene Smith. Share it with the people.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching the Big Ten Live, and they're interviewing Gene Smith yesterday, and he's talking about telling his players, hey, keep your head up. We're going to get this going. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up with a positive mind, a positive attitude, and then I'll try and figure out what we're going to do for the fall. And when I heard that, I'm thinking to myself, so you haven't started thinking about, the spring. You haven't started thinking about the spring yet. How are you kicking the can down the road and you don't have a plan yet? That bothers me because it tells me, Mike, that back when basketball got canceled, they just sat around in a room and said, well, what are we going to do? I don't know. Maybe Mark Emmerich's going to give us something to do. All right, well, let's just wait on him. No one had any plans. Gene Smith is now today going to try to figure out what they're going to do for the spring.
You know
the
what
problem
that
is? He's doing it in a vacuum by himself. It's not a conference thing.
Correct.
It's a him thing. So that means he's going to come up with something. That means Beekman comes up with something. That means everybody comes up with their own thing. That's the problem that we have, Mike. And I think the reason why it was canceled, why you have some, you're not going to hear the doctor's information because I do think it was the same. It's more the risk-reward type of factor. How many people have to get sick before we get sued?
Right,
How
well,
many
just
people?
say it.
Yeah.
Just say it. Say what the parameters are. Like, if the SEC is so hard up to play, fine. How many guys can get sick before you pull the plug? There's got to be a number. We know you're talking about it, because if you're not, there's no way for you to play. The other thing, dude, Rico, you know what this is? It's the equivalent of quitting a job without having another one.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, any adult in life, you look for your next job while you're at your current job. Like, that's how it works. Now, there are certain times you can do that, and certain industries it's easier than others. But, like, you don't quit and then call your boys and be like, yeah, I don't know, I'll start looking for a gig next week. Like, well, why the hell did you just leave your current job? That's what these conferences did, which it astonishes me because there's so much on the line. Let's go to James, 97.1. What's up, James? James 1-2.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
I hear you loud and clear, James. What's up?
There we go. Yeah.